This is Daf Yudalef in the Yerushalmi Berachos. And in order to start Daf Yudalef appropriately, we're going to go back to Yudim and Beis. Two lines at the bottom. Rabbi Yochanan says the name Shem Rabbi Shimon Chai. Honor she'oskim Talmud Torah feel Kriya Shema ein honor mafsikin. Rabbi Shimon Chai, who Toraso Manaso, his Torah was constant and with great asmada. He was not interrupt his learning for Shema. And that is Rabbi Yochanan name of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. But Rabbi Yochanan Amra Garmei said so going can be Talmud Torah. I feel our involvement in Torah, as great as Rabbi Yochanan was not the same as Shimon Bar Yochai. I feel tefillah I'm seeing now we stop for Kriya Shema, which is the Raisa. We also stop for tefillah, which is the Rabbanan. Dein kedaite v'dein kedaite. Now each one. Yochanan, Shimon Bar Yochai follows their line of reasoning. So this line of reasoning, which we follow, is not necessarily dependent on whether whether they're oiskim b'torah or not oiskim b'torah, as we shall see. But perhaps it is linked. I mean, obviously it must be linked because Yerushalmi links them. But the link seems not so apparent at first glance. Rabbi Yochanan daiti, Rabbi Yochanan uvayis paladam kol hayom. It would be wonderful. A person could daven all day. Lama she'ain tefillah mafseres. You can't lose by davening. Don't lose you don't lose. There's no loss at davening more and more and more. Shimon Bar Yochai kedaite. Shimon Bar Yochai follows his line of reasoning. Shimon Bar Yochai Amar. Shimon Bar Yochai said, "Ilu avinu kim malchut the same. Where I to be at Har Sinai, but shaita the Yisyavis to Torah Yisrael." When the Torah was given to Am, and Harasim when the Torah was given to Am Yisrael, Avina Mikpei Kumei Rachmon, I would have asked before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, these Bari L'Bar Nosha train pumin, that a person should be created with two mouths. Chad Avi Loi Boraisa, one which would be involved in learning Torah, but Chad Avi called Surke, and one for the rest of a person's needs. So the idea being that nothing is worth interrupting Torah, so a person should be given another mouth for anything else which he has to do. Chazamar, but then Shimon Bar Yochai recanted. He said, you know what? Oma in chad hu, if with one mouth, leis ama yochel kain bay mindu turididei, the world cannot be sustained because of the lashon hara and all sorts of other bad things which the mouth manages to emit. Elu have a train alachas kamakam where there are two mouths. How much more so? How much worse would it be? So it seems Rabbi Yochanan's issue is not that ain't Torah seinu mnuseinu, but rather it's a good thing to daven all day. As Rabbi Shimon Yochai holds, not that it's an issue of Torah seinu mnuseinu so much, but it's not good. Well, it's not a Torah seinu issue. It's that everything else is subordinate to Torah. But really, it's obviously the same thing. Rabbi Yochanan is saying that for us, davening all day would be an amazing thing because we're not on the same madrega as Shimon Bar Yochai. So therefore, of course, with limitations, reasonable limitations, it would be nice to daven all day a day. And I think it's a bit of an exaggeration, but he's making a point that davening is a good thing too. And Shimon Bar Yochai is saying, no, so we learn all day, and that's what we're supposed to do. And davening is not as significant as learning. It sounds here almost like Chas v'sholom, don't take me seriously, but that's like Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is the Litvak who's saying Teira, 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 and Rabbi Yochanan is the Chassid who's saying Tefillah also is very, very important. But of course, that's just something to smile about, but not emes at all. Okay, so let us go on further. Rabbi Yirmiyah. Yossi said in front of Rabbi Yirmiyah, ask the Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia. Rabbi Yochanan opinion follows like that Rabbi Chanina ben Akavia. Tani. We learned the Bryce, the Kosvi is falling to Mezuzas Mavsikin Kriya Shema, Vei Mavsikin L'Tfilah. People who write Sforim, Sefer Torah, Tefillah, and Mezuzas, interrupt for Shema, which is the Raisa, but not for davening, which is only the Rabban. Okay, Mekavia Omer, Kishesh Mavsikin Kriya Shema, Kaf Mavsikin L'Tfilah, just the way they interrupt for Shema, they interrupt for tefillah and for tefillin and for all the other mitzvahs of the Torah. Now, the Amudei Yerushalayim points out that this seems to contradict the Bavli, where it says that that it seems that the Torah tefillin mezuzahs are part because oisek b'mitzvah part min mitzvah, and here there doesn't seem to be the case that the issue that they're part because oisek mitzvah part min mitzvah, but rather rather you're mafsik for mitzvahs, and you don't. Your oisek mitzvah does not part you from doing those mitzvahs. So the Amudei Yerushalayim wants to give wants to resolve it by saying that you really need two conditions in order to be potter. For Zosa to be had the Oscar mitzvah and Torud at the same time, and these perhaps this case is not, they are not considered to be Torud in what they're doing. I don't really see that distinction, but and it seems that, but this perhaps is exactly the machlekes here. That Yerushalmi Berachos holds that mitzvah is not potter min mitzvah, whereas the previous opinion, the opinion of Tanakama in this brisa, was that they are potter min mitzvah. But then how big the question? Why not potter from Kriya Shema? Kriya Shema is also the mitzvah potter mitzvah is potter from mitzvah d'oraisa. So why not potter? So it seems more that it's a valid point that perhaps there is machlekes by Yerushalmi in this respect, but mitzvah potter min mitzvah. So in reality, it's a little bit more complicated than that, because for Rabbi ben Akavi, also there in the Gemara in Sukkot Daf Chavav, says Tanya Rabbi Chananya ben Akavia, Kosi Tzvarim Tfil Mezuzos Heim Tagrem Tagrei Tagrem. Those people write Tzvarim Tfil Mezuzos. They and their agents and the agents of their agents Cholos Kim Melech Shemayim Lasui Mokei Tchelos Peturim Mikriya Shema Minat Tefila Mikom Mitfil Kol Mitzvos Hamuros Betorah. So the same Rabbi ben Akavi here who says they're not potter is Rabbi ben Akavi there who says that they are potter. In the Tosefta, it says, "Chanai ben Akavi omer kshem shemafsikin l'Kriya Shema kach mafsikin l'Tefila." Whereas that, like it says here in the Gemara, so that's the Tosefta, and Yerushalmi follows the Tosefta much more closely than the Bavli very often. But in any event, it seems that perhaps that's the Iker Girsa, like the Yerushalmi, not like the Bavli, since that, again, Yerushalmi's Girsa is the Tosefta's Girsa. So the Magen Avram, in Siman Ches, writes that the Yerushalmi is talking about where it's Efshel Kaim Shneim. Our Yerushalmi is where it's Efshel Kaim Shneim, but when it's Efshel Kaim Shneim, then you can't, then you're potter, and that the Gemara in Sukkah is talking about where it's Efshel Kaim Shneim. So it is, again, it's a contradiction between the Shita Yerushalmi Berachos in the Yerushalmi and the Bavli, and the Tosefta seems to indicate that Yerushalmi's Girsa is correct, and the Magen Avram distinguishes between, perhaps suggests that here it's Efshel Kaim Shneim, there it's not Efshel Kaim Shneim. Okay, so the Gemara continues that v'lo moed of Shimba Yochai. Let's go back to Shimba Yochai. Well, it's Tarasum Naso is not mafsik. Even for Kriya Shema, doesn't he? He says you don't stop learning in order to make a sukkah or do the mitzvah of lulav. To sing the sukkah, how she says less sukkah, you know. I could actually say, you know what? Maybe you don't stop in order to make a sukkah, but to eat the sukkah, yeah, but not to make a sukkah, because the mitzvah is to sit in the sukkah. It seems here that there's a mitzvah also to make a sukkah, not just to sit in the sukkah. V'las is lulav. Say the lulav. That the person supposed to learn in order to perform mitzvahs. A person should not learn not in order to perform mitzvahs. Somebody who learns not in order to perform the mitzvahs in practice. It's better for him that he not be born. Says somebody who learns not in order to do. It's as if it would have been better for him had the fetus turned upside down and not have come out of the mother's womb. So it's interesting that in the Bavli, this is what it says about how Mlamed Amnash Kanter. So I mean, not somebody who's Mlamed Shalom Nas Lasos is not great, but he's not. It's not the same thing as somebody who learns Nas Kanter. That's the one who, or also Karam Lachborbo. Those are the ones who are held in the lowest esteem. But the Yerushalmi takes a notch further. Yerushalmi says somebody who learns Shalom Nas Lasos, even if he learns lishma, so to speak, that's not lishma. Lishma means to learn in order to do. The Kosker says limud Torah lishma is limud Torah kishma, like its name. What's its name? The name of Torah, full name of Torah is not Torah, but Torah's Chaim. So Torah's Chaim means instruction book, a manual for life. So to learn Torah lishma, says the Kosker, is to learn Torah in order to know how to lead one's life. Many other pshatim in the Shema, obviously. But that's the Yerushalmi sound is like that. And here, and it says, everything has to be lamed lasos. So what's going on here? So it says, more tamid Rishim Beichai, zeh shinun v'zeh shinun. He says, no. You're right. A practical mitzvah, you have to stop. But this is a mitzvah of dibur. Shema is a mitzvah of dibur, and the learning Torah is a mitzvah of dibur. Which Shnato Vanecha obviously is what it says in Shema about learning Torah, right? So it's just like it's like lost a dibur vato dibur, but in a different way, right? You're learning and mitzvahs bepeh are all on one level, so therefore it's not considered to be a chisaron of Lamed Shalom Nas Lasos if you don't not mafsik for Shema or for Tila. So wait a minute, but there should be priorities in learning Torah. It says somebody who says Shema after the Zman Kriyas Shema is over, he's no worse than somebody who's learning Torah. But there's an inference there. If it's in its proper time, it's superior to Divrei Torah. So, yes, you can learn those mitzvah shin, but isn't Torah a superior mitzvah? Says Gemara, no. This is for Rishim, at least for Rishim Beichai. It's the same. The intensity of Rishim Beichai's learning was such that his Kriyas Shema was not superior. But other people, perhaps Kriyas Shema is a superior form of learning Torah. More chaviv. I don't know if superior is the right term, but more chaviv. But for Rishim Beichai, the intensity of his Torah was such that the chavivus was not greater for Shema than it was for any Torah that Rishim Beichai was learning. The thought here sounds like it's a lesson of frequency. Obviously, it means that but it means that he's frequently learning. But I think that here more is a language of intensity, and since he learned so intensely, so therefore it was considered to be as chaviv for him as Kriyas Shema would be. Rabbi Abba Mori lo tninan el kiladam shukar b'Torah. So he says he makes a deal. He says it's when you, and he was trying to specifically categorize the mitzvah of Shema in its Torah, at what level Torah it is. So he says there's the deal here that when it's not, it's after Zman Kriyas Shema, so it's Kekore b'Torah. Ha'nasa k'mishnah. Well, during its Zman, it's like Mishnah. Okay, so it's a notch up. So, but Mishnah he. Rishim Beichai kedaite. Rishim Beichai Omer ha'osek b'mikra mida ve'ena mida. Somebody who's involved in chumash, it's a mida and not a mida. Whereas Rabbana have the mikra commissioner. So the Bnei Moshe says that Rishim Echai Kedaite. Let's see first. Amar says Lavachi Lokash Lodnian Elkam Shukar B'Torah by the Mikra. Take me now about Nasa Kamishli. So he says he came. Rabbi Shimon Shel Lomei b'Mishnah. So Shimon was learning Mishnah. He was a Tana. He was learning Mishnah. So it's the same thing. Ain't so that seeing available Nasa. And Rabbi Shimon Chayk Yidai compare Kol Kisve Osik b'Mikra Mida b'Sheina Midai very close to the Mishnah. And this Shimon Chai holds that after Zman Kriya Shema goes down a level to Torah, to just level of learning Mikra. And Rabbi have the Mikra Mishnah Lo Mefarshim Mitzvah Rabbi Shimon of seeing Kriya Shema Mi Divrei Torah. And this is it's not clear exactly what that means because yes, Rabbanan hold that you're mafsik from Divrei Torah to learn to say Shema, but you don't have to say that it's like Mishnah in order to do that, because on the contrary, if it's like Mishnah, then it's not. Why start for Kriya Shema? So obviously there has to be an additional chavivus. Rabbanan give, whether it's like Mikra or like Mishnah. It's like Mikra Shaloba Nasa, like Mishnah Nasa. Regardless, there's a certain chavivus that Shema has, which for people who ain't Torah Nasa makes it a superior thing, and you're mafsik your Torah in order to do it. I should want to point out, going back a bit to what we said, when I said the tadir is here means intensity. So the Torah and Rishonim, which brings down from the various Rishonim, the Pshat Perushim and Yerushalmi, says that the Baal Mor says in first paragraph of Shabbos, Shimachai Deshim Mechudad b'Divrei Torah, right? Fichach Ein Chaviva Olav Yosem b'Divrei Torah, right? There's again the Tadir here and Mechudad are obviously two sides of the same coin. Halacha Gimel. Yerushalmi Berachos called them Yatuvi Ikru. Yerushalmi says in the evening everybody should lie down, incline themselves and read. Babokiyam in the morning they should stand. Shneimar, it says b'shach b'cha when you're lying down, when you rise up. But somebody called them karki darkum. You read in whichever way you find yourself. Shneimar b'shidcha b'eisecha v'lechlecha b'derech. How you're sitting in your house, how you're walking on the way, doesn't. It's as you find yourself. You can't limit Amar b'shach b'cha of kumecha. So why I said b'shach b'cha of kumecha, not for how you're going to read it, but when you're going to read it. Yerushalmi Adam shochvin Yerushalmi Adam coming. By the time when people are going to sleep, and a time when people are awakening. Says the Gemara, Had Beisil Mekaimin train crying. So the Beisil covers explains why you need both psukim. You need the Shilchav Kumecha will tell you the time, and Shilchav Beisil to tell you that it's however you find yourself. You can read Shema. Beisil kind of check on Mama Kaim Beishamai B'Shilchav Beisil V'Lechcha B'Derech. What did they do with that other pasuk? This is Bavli as well. Shidduch Beisecha Pratloitz Kim Mitzvah. Shidduch Beisecha means that it exempts people who are Beisecha Mitzvah, they're potter from Shema. Lechlecha V'Derech Prat L'Chasan, and Lechlecha V'Derech teaches us that a Chasan, who's Torah in the Mitzvah, he's not necessarily doing the Mitzvah at that moment, is also exempt from Shema. Tani Lid Ma'aser Elazar ben Azariah, Rabbi Shmuel Shuyim b'Makom Echad. They were in a certain place. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah Muteh. Elazar ben Azariah was reclining or lying down. Bishmo Zokar, Shmo was standing up. He hears my Kriya Shema. When my Kriya Shema came, this covered Elazar ben Azariah. Elazar ben Azariah got up. V'hita Rabbi Shmuel lay down. Or Elazar ben Azariah, Rabbi Shmuel, Omer lechad min ashuk. And this again is in the Bavli. He says to somebody in the marketplace, how beautiful is your beard that is so flourishing and so lush and so well grown. He says, if that's the case, let's go cut it. It should be take it to the barber to shave it off. Ani shaisi muteh niskafti. I was inclined. I got up. Atah shaisa zakuf, which is that tantamount having a lush beard. You were in the right position, ready to say Shema. You were standing up. B'kumecha hitesa. You recline. Amar leh. So why? It's like taking your glorious beard and cutting it off. Only Atonis Kafka de Beishama, you stood up because you were doing like Beishamai. And he takes Beisil. I therefore incline in order to do like Beisil. In other words, to show that one doesn't have to one doesn't have to actually get up. Now it seems that the davar acher shloimei tamudim yasuk halacha kava kedivei beishamai, or it seems that according to the first shot, no matter whether it's in front of people or not in front of the people, Yishmael would say it would wants to indicate that it's not doing like beishamai. But according to the second shot here, so it seems that it's only specifically because it was in front of Talmidim, and he didn't want the Talmidim to assume that the halacha is like beishamai. So that's why he did not remain standing to support Elazar. He laid down at that time. Halach Dal. Rabbi Tarfon. An easy Baba Derech is coming along the road. And he tasted close to Beishamai, and I lay down in order to be like Beishamai. Evidently, it was in the evening. We see Kanti Batsim nearly saying I was in danger that bandits would overcome me and do what bandits do. Amulo, they said to him, Kedai Yisochu Batzimcha. It was coming to you. It was appropriate that you were put in such a liability. Because you violated the words of Beis Hillel, and halacha is like Beis Hillel. So we only have a few words left on the page, but let's do them. Chavrai b'shem Rabbi Yochanan, Chaverim the name Rabbi Yochanan said Dodim divrei soifin divrei Torah. The words of Torah are dodim. So dodim here obviously means some sort of correlation between the two. In other words, that there's a similarity in their preciousness. Because and then the next line, the chavivim k'divrei Torah, they're precious like divrei Torah. Your palate is like the good wine. So it's a little bit different. What's a little bit difficult? What is the difference between dodim and chavivim? I assume dodim means there's an intimate relationship. So there's an intimate relationship between the Rabban and the Reisos, and therefore they are each chaviv as each other.